So good morning class, it's Monday the 11th of January. I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes just recapping on what we did last week, and then I will move on to what we are going to do this week. So this is what we did last week. You were looking at an example holiday brochure. It was Cheddar Gorge and the caves, and we looked at shapes because these shapes are going to be so important for when we structure our own holiday brochure, which we're going to write about Skara Brea, which is what we were looking at on Thursday and Friday. So Skara Brea is in the Orkneys. It's a Stone Age settlement, 5,000 years old, but it was at the time one of the most impressive Stone Age civilizations and features and settlements in the world, which is why we're using it as our example. So we looked at these shapes. So hopefully now you know that this shape is the heading. These smallish ones are subheadings. This is called direct action. It's basically a rhetorical question that you ask at the very start of a brochure, so that you actually draw the reader's attention. You got this map of the world, which is kind of a location of where the place that you're talking about is. Then you've got these amenities which they have at the attraction. Then you've got sensory experiences. So look at the way this paragraph is purely about amenities. This paragraph is only about sensory experiences, as is this paragraph. And again, we know it's the start of a new paragraph because we've got a subheading, and they're the key bits that we need to remember. And then we've got the last bit, which is about options. So what else is there available at the location or the attraction? And then at the end, after the last subheading, you have got a quote or a testimonial from somebody who's actually been there. Okay, so that's how we're going to structure our work for over the next 7 days. And to see that, this is what we're going to do on day one. So we've got a heading, we've got a rhetorical question, and we've got direct action. Day two, we'll be looking at a subheading and we're looking at its geographical location. Remember, we are talking about Skara Brea. It's all about Skara Brea this week and up until probably a week and a half. Day three, it will be a subheading and we'll talk about the amenities that Skara Brea has to offer. Day four will be another subheading underneath which you talk about the sensory experience. Day five, subheading, we talk about, or we'll make a paragraph up about some more sensory experiences that you can have when you're at Skara Brea. Day six, subheading, relates to purely about what other amenities it has there. Okay, so it's the option. So it might be a walk, coastal walk. It might be sailing trips on offer. Okay, remember you are writing a brochure to encourage somebody that lives maybe in Wiltshire in a Stone Age village or a Stone Age house in Wiltshire to come to Skara Brea in the Orkneys and visit and have a what we call a family holiday. Okay, and the last day we'll be doing our subheading, we'll be doing a testimonial, and we'll be doing a call to action. So the call to action is basically, it's like a discount. If you book before this date, you'll get 10% off or you'll get 20% off. Okay, so it's really the last bit where you persuade somebody to come. This is all about persuasive writing. We are trying to encourage somebody to come and visit this fictional place. Well, it's not fictional, it really is happening. But we don't live in the Stone Age now, but you have to think about what people would be doing in the Stone Age and make it relevant to today. Okay, so that's the only tricky part of the next couple of days' lesson. So I'm going to take that off, drop it on the floor, or I might use it later. Okay, so that's an overview of the week. Okay, so this is going to be slightly different to the way we normally work, because I would normally kind of do a lot of the work with you, alongside you. A lot of the jotting would take place. I'm going to ask you to pause during the video so that you can go off and do your work. Okay, so where I say naturally pause, I want you to stop the video, go off and do the work, come back and then see what happens next or what you need to do next. Okay, so you need to listen really carefully, and where I say pause, you actually need to physically pause the video. I'm not going to do that, but I want you to pause the video, go off, come back, look at the work that you need to do, okay, and then you'll move on to the next learning chunk. Okay, so title for today, we're going to start writing we're going to write persuasive sentences for our holiday brochure. Remember, we are going to Skara Brea. That is the focus for the next 7 days. The settlement that we showed you off in the Orkneys, okay, where the Stone Age settlement is still visible today. 3 parts to the lesson, so the 3 learning chunks are we're going to start with a heading, we're then going to move on to a rhetorical question, and then we're going to do a direct address, exactly like I've just showed you in the overview of the week or the 7 days. Okay, so also, we're only going to use 1 page from now on. I know in the past we've used 2 pages, but I can't afford 2 pages per piece of work because we're not going to actually be writing very much every day. So this is what I want you to do and how I want you to structure it. Once you've done the date, Monday the 11th, and you put today's title, I want you to think about splitting your page up into 3 quarters, okay, and a quarter. So all the vocab, all the learning chunks, so learning chunk 1, 2, and 3, all the words go in the top section, okay? And then when I ask you to complete and write a paragraph, it goes 3/4 of the way down, okay? So you have all the words at the top, but you have the completed work kind of 3/4 of the way down, and it will be one complete paragraph. So there won't be gaps, okay? It will be a piece of writing that I can easily see, and I will say, yes, you've got the idea, you've understood it, okay? And we'll do that every single day. So think about doing all your work at the top, okay, 3/4 of the way. Make sure you put learning chunk 1, 2, and 3 and show me the words. But when you actually are told to write a sentence, you need to think about leaving, you have to start at 3/4 of the page down and write your sentences one after the other in the form of a paragraph. Or for today, we're going to be doing a subheading, a question, and a direct address. Okay, so the heading must go in the middle of this section. Okay, but that's how I want you to structure it. So one page of work, but at the bottom, I want to see the completed work for the day. All the other bits of vocab go at the top. Okay, so learning chunk 1, we've got to think of, got to go to the heading. Okay, so I'm going to remove that away because that's not there. That will be somewhere later. Okay, so we're going to think about a title for our holiday brochure. Okay, and remember we're writing about Skara Brea. Now Brea has a Y kind of sound on the end, so you need to think of rhyming words that rhyme with this word. Okay, the word Brea, because that is going to be your title of your holiday brochure. Okay, now for today I might just show you ones I've done. So. But as of tomorrow, I won't show you too much. I will say pause, okay? So I thought about having the word stay. It rhymes with Brea. Today rhymes with Brea. Remember, it's a Y kind of sound. Okay, holiday, and hooray, okay? So you can pause your video now, okay? And you can write some rhyming words. But for today, you can actually probably use mine, okay? So maybe use stay, today, okay, holiday, hooray. And if you can think of another one, by all means think of one. Okay, now you're going to put those rhyming words into a title. It must start with Skara Brea, okay, and then you use one of your rhyming words at the end in order to complete your title. So, for example, my title is Skara Brea, a place where all the family can stay, or I can replace stay and put play, because they both rhyme. Okay, so it could read my title, Skara Brea, a place where all the family can stay, Skara Brea, a place where all the family can play. Okay, or Skara Brea, a new type of holiday. Okay, so that will be my title, and that will go in this area of my page now, and I will put it as a title. So remember, a title will go in the middle of your page, okay, and it gets underlined. So I want you to write your title for Skara Brea now, okay, and just pause when you've done that and wait for learning chunk 2. Okay, I'm back. So learning chunk 2, okay, is a rhetorical question. That's why I got this in the wrong place, okay? So that should go there. That's the shape that relates to the question, okay? So we are now going to ask a rhetorical question underneath our title, okay, just like you looked at last week. Now, a rhetorical question is a question where you don't actually get an answer, okay? The answer is probably yes, but you don't need to specifically answer the question. Okay, so what I want you to think about is, what do hunters and gatherers do, okay, during their day? What does an average Stone Age hunter-gatherer do every single day? Okay, I want you to pause now and have a think about that question. What do they do? Okay, and I would like you to, once you've paused it, is to write down some ideas of what they do. Okay, so coming back now, they might hunt. They might stalk their prey, they might skin their animals, they have to clean, I wouldn't say dishes because that's a very modern word, okay, they have to constantly clean their pots, clean their clothes, they have to make their own clothes, okay, they always kind of probably go hunting in the same place, so do they have the same view every time, do they see the same fields, and do they see the same animals, okay, so what you need to do for this rhetorical question, okay, is create a question where you say to the person you're persuading, are you tired? Are you bored of doing the same thing every day? What kind of things would they do every day that they're probably tired and bored of? Because remember, the Skara Brea is a hotel where they can get away from their daily chores, their daily lives, the daily boredoms that they might have, and the daily challenges they face, and just relax for a period of time, and everything will be taken care for. They will be taken care of at Skara Brea. Okay, so I want you to now to think of a rhetorical question. You can either start it with the word tired of or bored of. Okay, and then you can think about what they would do on a regular day, which probably would create boredom or would make them exhausted or make them very tired. Okay, so do that for me now. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully you're back too. So far I've got this. This is my title, Skara Brea, New Style of Holiday. So I've underlined that to indicate that that is my heading for my holiday brochure. The next bit was my rhetorical question, and I wrote, tired of the pace of the hunter-gatherer life, okay? The answer probably is yes. It's a rhetorical question. It doesn't need an answer, okay? This bit we'll go into in a minute, because this is the last bit that we're going to do today. This is called the direct address, okay? So that's the image or the shape that we are talking about whenever we're talking about direct address. It's like a finger pointing at you. Okay, and the direct address, it addresses the reader by telling them how perfect Skara Brea will be. Okay, so you are persuading somebody to come and visit. Okay, so what is great, what is different about Skara Brea? Okay, some ideas I had, it's an idyllic seaside resort or location. Remember, I showed you the pictures, and Mrs. Nicholson did some brilliant work with you when it came to showing you some videos of the place and what it was like to live there. It's a perfect destination for a family holiday, okay, etc., etc. You need to think of what is really special or unique about Skara Brea, okay? And that's what you're going to do in terms of your last part of your learning chunk, and you're going to directly address it to the person you're trying to persuade. Why would somebody from Wiltshire leave Wiltshire for a holiday and go and visit Skara Brea? What is it that makes it special? What is it that makes it unique? What is it that makes it wonderful? Okay, so I want you to pause now. And while you're pausing, think about the uniqueness of Skara Brea and all the images that we've already seen. Okay? Right, when you come back, okay, I want you to start your last learning chunk and your last sentence with Skara Brea is. Okay, I also want you to include the word family somewhere in that final sentence. So if we now go up to the top, okay, I have finished this off for you. I might not do this tomorrow. Skara Brea is an idyllic retreat for you and your family. So it's in a direct address to you. It's telling the person or persuading the person that actually it's a great location for somebody to go with their family to relax for a holiday. I haven't told you about what is there because that will come in tomorrow and the next couple of days. We're just trying to hook the reader, hook the potential person or family into reading the brochure and thinking about, yes, that sounds a perfect place for me to go, and trying to persuade them that actually if they had the opportunity, they would come and visit Skara Brea. Okay, so just to recap, you've got 3 parts to today's lesson. You have to think of a heading, okay, which rhymes. So Brea rhymes with holiday, Brea would rhyme with play, Brea would rhyme with stay. You need to put in your rhetorical question, tired of the pace of life, and I said you could start with tired or bored of. Okay, but think about what they would normally do, the hunter-gatherers that we're talking about, the Stone Age people. And the last one is a direct address, okay, where you use the word family, and you can start with Skara Brea. What is it? What is special? What is unique? Okay, so Skara Brea is the perfect destination for your family, for a family holiday. Skara Brea is an idyllic retreat, that's an E, for you and your family, okay? It's just think about what I've talked about, break it up into the 3 learning chunks, and make sure that when you do it, all the ideas and vocab come at the top of the page, and when it comes to writing your sentences neatly so that I can read them with the heading, with the question, with the direct address, it comes 3/4 of the way down the page, so it's very easy for me to see, and that's the way we're going to structure our work every day, okay? Best of luck with that.